And at the same time, this is, I think, the romantic corner of crypto. So we're all very passionate and enthused and fiery about, doing things and making things happen.
I was going to say, it's funny, we've gotten so many different responses too, right? Even with our first launch, which was a ticket to the auction, it has a bunch of other benefits, but we had people that bought in early and they saw the vision, they saw the value, they joined the community, they started participating. We're talking about DAOs, we're talking about art innovation. And then all of a sudden it took off and all the tickets sold out and the secondary market blew up like 40,000% or something crazy. And it was nuts. And then in the next 24 hours, we had all of these people, these speculators coming in, which completely shifted the entire conversation, right? We saw, to your point, like the different ways into this one item, right? Which to us was a ticket. It was a ticket to the community, a ticket to the auction, but it became this speculative device and brought in a completely different reality that we then had to navigate and manage while still staying true to our mission. You know what I mean? We've been building this community about art innovation.
Welcome to Chainlink Live, everybody. My name is Andy Boyan from Chainlink Labs, and I am really excited to talk to Accursed Share today in this Q&A. You're welcome to bring your questions as well. If you have them throughout the AMA, drop them in the chat. We'll be able to see them and respond. But I've got John and Monica here from Accursed Share to talk about what the project is. John just gave this great introduction about how this flood, this overwhelming enthusiasm and passion from the community emerged, and they've been dealing with that during this launch, and how amazing of a time this is. And Monica just said that we're in the romantic corner of crypto, and I think that's so right on. Like, we're building it, we're doing it, and so we want to hear exactly from you guys who are building this amazing project right now in the middle of this NFT craze. You've been building this project for a while. Why don't you get us started? Tell us about the Cursed NFT. Tell us about Accursed Share, what you guys are aiming to do. Oh, yeah, Monica's internet has been off and on, so she might pop in and out. If so, no big deal. Just everybody heads up. All right, John, go ahead. Lead us off.
Yeah, so I'll get started on Accursed Share. So that is our company, and Accursed Share is a crypto art incubator, community, and innovation studio. And what makes us unique in this space is that we're really focused on the smart contract, not simply as an indicator of ownership on the blockchain for art, but as an entire canvas, right, that can be offered up to an artist to create new forms of storytelling and innovation and relationship to the artistic medium itself, right? It's an innovation in digital art that we're so early that few platforms are really appreciating this and capturing this. And so that is what our focus is as an innovation hub, community, and studio ourselves.
Cool.
And then so, Monica, I'll hand it off to you to actually explain the Curse NFT because she has a little bit more of a magical storytelling device there.
It's a beautiful story, and I think that is a grace. I don't know how many of you have percolated into space yet, but I think it's an asset that is going to start popping up more. This is a beautiful real life story. Krystall Schott is a model, and during New York Fashion Week in 2016, a backstage picture of her, almost a candid, somehow got sold and moved in such a way that it clambered up to the first position in the Google search for face, without her knowledge and without, her being credited or paid for it. And it has sat there like a fat cat for all these years, doing its own thing, living its own life. And Krystall has had no resource. There's nothing to do about the situation until smart contract technology opened up an option. And so we're doing an NFT, a gorgeous. We've done a gorgeous NFT, a 4K 3D photograph of her, this resplendent image, which has 5 variations that respond to the changing price of Ethereum. And it is everything her cursed image is not. It is authorized, it is responsive, and it is gainful.
I'm trying to find this image of Krystall Schott so people can see, because this backstory is really fascinating. It's this idea that it's about art and ownership of your own data and expressing something to the world, whether through fashion or independently or whatever it happens to be, and about controlling that yourself. So Krystall didn't have control. Yeah. Like, that's kind of the story here. Is there in crypto you kind of have the option to opt in and opt out, and that's one of the major differences between a lot of the centralized services. But she just didn't have control in that regard. How did you guys find out about this story? Did you know her? Like, how did this come to your attention?
So just a personal connection that our third co-founder had. And we've been incredibly lucky beyond just the story. Krystall Schott is also a producer on this project, has been an amazing collaborator, and right now is doing the news circuit. She's going to be featured on her local news in California this Friday. So, she's definitely been doing a lot of work.
All right. Well, I've brought up this tab. This is from the Accursed Share website, so you guys can see. But this is the photo right here. And so this candid shot from backstage, when was it? 2016, a long time ago, gets taken, and then Krystall just loses control of this. It gets put up in Glamour magazine, and it's still like one of the top search results for face. So she's famous, but nobody knows who she is, and she's not benefiting from this at all, right?
Yeah,
It's wild. You wouldn't want it to happen to you.
Glamour is owned by Condé Nast, right? So it's this like faceless, nameless giant. There's probably not even a person that has touched this post, since it's gone up. But the algorithms and the automations that they have set up just keep surfacing it, right? They keep republishing the exact same post. So the year keeps updating, and they have their metadata set up on this photo so efficiently that it just keeps going back up, right? So at this point, it gets tens of millions of views every month, right? And you look at that like over the course of the last 5 years, that's hundreds of millions of views on this photo. Her name isn't attached to it. She gets no credit. And it's literally the most successful photo of her that's ever been taken, right? But that's why the Cursed NFT makes sense. And that's why we're building something that'll exist out on the internet, right? Obviously, powered by Chainlink. We can, in a decentralized manner, ensure that this thing keeps updating, that the art keeps changing until it reaches its final form when Ethereum reaches $20,000 in USD value, right? And so this is our counter narrative, and it exists beyond just the press we're getting right now and the auction, because the NFT itself will live on in an indestructible form to kind of break the curse and combat the face that has been portrayed by Condé Nast.
All right, we do have Krystall in the chat. So hello, Krystall, or someone who says they're Krystall. But it sounds like it is Krystall. She said some things about knowing you guys. So I'm glad to have you here, and it looks like the community is saying hello as well, and I appreciate that. I think this idea, the story of well, there's not a lot she can do. So crypto, so smart contracts, so blockchain, this decentralization is a recourse, and you can do it yourself. And a team gets together and says, well, we can build something, we can make a statement, and it's like, it's a financial statement, it's an artistic statement, it's a data ownership statement, it's like a legal or contractual, it's like everything packed into one. Just like we were talking about earlier, Monica, at the beginning, like there's just so many things that come together. It's like this perfect blend of opportunities. Really cool. And thank you for being here as well, Krystall. Can you guys go over some of the specifics on the Cursed NFT? So as Ethereum hits different USD-based price levels, it takes different forms. What do those look like? How many NFTs are there? Like, just give us some of the fundamentals on those.
Yeah, so I'll give you a quick breakdown on that. So at its core, you will see a video, right? So you'll always see a video playing, a minute-long video representing the NFT, and there are 5 different states. And this video is a very unique production, right? The 3D scan was done by Protagon. This is the 3D mastery team behind the Avengers series and currently filming Avatar 2. So we can say we literally have the best 3D scan in the world essential to this NFT by the best 3D team in the world, right? No one else literally has this level of production value. And so it's this 3D scan. And then we had an amazing 3D artist who is working with us in-house. And each of these 5 frames is a minute long with a custom video and also a custom soundtrack that was crafted uniquely for each video, right?
I'm pulling up some of the other photos from your site just so people can see, because the story matches this as well. And Krystall, your hair here is so amazing. I am so jealousy FOMO of how this looks. Anyways, I'm sorry, John, keep going.
No, it's great you mentioned that. It's kind of like a accidental iconography, right? Now we've become like the green hair company with our first project here, The Curse. And so it's just like everyone sees the green hair everywhere. And it's lovely, right? It's lovely in the behind the scenes photos. It's lovely in photos of Krystall anyway, because Krystall's lovely. But then also in the actual scan itself, right? And in the visuals that you see, when you actually just go to our website, the video plays and you can actually see the different faces. So sorry, going back to your question on the technical specifications. So the 5 different states they change to the first state when Ethereum is at a positive for 1 day, right, for a 24-hour period. And then it changes to the second state when Ethereum is at a positive for 2 days in a row. The third state displays when Ethereum is at a negative for 1 day in a row. And then the fourth state displays when Ethereum is a negative for 2 days in a row, right? So through those 4 states, it'll kind of shift until Ethereum reaches, again, $20,000 worth of USD, and then it reaches its final form, right? We consider that to be the breaking of the curse. And maybe Monica can fill in a little bit more like what that actually represents, because she actually is a specialist and has a taxonomy of curses that she produced before we even started this project.
I'd love to hear.
Did you catch that, Monica?
Well, she might be coming in and out.
Uh-oh. Okay, well, we'll see if we can get back to that one, because that's a fun story. But
this has redemptive value.
Oh, she's back. All right, Monica, go ahead and start again. Let's see if we can catch that.
I think that the most compelling thing about Krystall's curse is that it is profoundly unearned. Crimes against nature, crimes against blood might merit a curse. It's a proportionate punishment. But Krystall did nothing. She barely remembers having this picture taken. And so in this sense, to lift the curse is, I think it's a very, it's almost a magical event that we're doing here. It's almost a magical operation, because we are reverting the irreversible. That is wild. That's incredibly daring. And I think that once you put that out into the commons and people see that you can do this, you can technically, modify, alter the course of a Google algorithm. You really start thinking about the possibility space in a much deeper way. And that is what we want people to start considering. If this is like this extreme a use case, what other things can we do with dynamic NFTs? What are the things to do with this technology that have real world repercussions?
We're in the middle of this NFT craze on crypto Twitter and sort of in the industry right now. And JPEGs and profile pictures are very popular, and art is popular, this generative art, and that's fine. It's a thing. But this is taking, another step, really dynamic NFTs that are changing based on data, whatever it happens to be. In this case, the Ethereum price. Actually, I'm going to pull it up. I have the website here with the video, so I'll have this running. Seeing this, we've got Monica back as well. All right, here we go. I'm just going to play this. It's just such an amazing visual to go through the stages right there.
Yeah, and this is just in 1080p, right? Because this is just what we embedded in the site. The actual NFT is in 4K, and the audio on it is pretty incredible. So that can actually be seen on the auction page. You can see its current state, and you can hear the audio for the singular state. But you'll have to wait to see the different states, as the price of Ethereum changes, and capture the full, 4K quality. But I do agree, it looks pretty dope in 1080p as well.
It's pretty great. There's a question from Newbie Cryptubi. Where can we learn how to do dynamic NFTs? The Newbie Cryptubi. I'm going to ask our moderator, Tatiana, if you can go out and look for, there's Chainlink tutorials on dNFTs or dynamic NFTs that our DevRel team has put together. And basically, I don't know exactly how it works. I'm not the technical guy, but the fundamental is you use a price feed and changing values from that feed or data feed or price feed, whatever it happens to be. You could do a weather feed, you could do sports feed to change the NFT. So a lot of times, like for sports example, people get excited about the idea of collectible sports cards. Well, you could update their stats if you had a sports data feed, which Chainlink does provide, as well to that NFT. So there are ways to do that and change those states, and there are tutorials out there. So I'm going to ask Tatiana to look for that, and I'll add that to the YouTube description as well after this right here. As this is playing, so you're using the Chainlink ETH USD feed here. What did you do some thinking about why Ethereum, why the price of Ethereum? Like, why is that connected? We have Monica back as well. But why the price of Ethereum to trigger this? I think it's just an interesting choice.
Yeah, in this case, there's a couple different dynamics at play, right? There's kind of the spirit of the market, right? We looked at different platforms. Obviously, it's wonderful to have like very low gas fees, you know, et cetera, of like layer twos. But really, the gestalt of the community we're tapping into and the kind of excitement and spirit is in the Ethereum NFT market, right? So it's the crypto punks, right? It's this ethos of like radical community generation and what it means to be early here, what it means to be participating in these phases, right? It's the Bored Apes Yacht Club. It's our own Discord, right? It's like, that's why we saw the prices of the tickets go up again, you know, like 40,000% so fast, you know, it was like in less than 24 hours because people want to be a part of these communities. And so again, this is all happening on Ethereum, right? The ethos, the spirit, the radicalness of where the NFT movement is right now and how NFTs are being valued and looked at. That's what we want to tap into. And that's a part of the art itself, right? Is the community we're tapping into, the spirit we're tapping into. And that's at the core of our kind of brand identity as well. It's like, this is something that drives us as an entity.
So, you know, in Ethereum, there's been this cypherpunk ethos for a long time, open source, you know, build the opt-out systems in general. And so, and that's actually feels like that when you take a step back, like from this is a cool art piece, it really is about reclaiming data ownership and not just about like having your own data, you know, owning your own data or owning your own IP, intellectual property, and releasing that for sale, but really a reclamation in this project of reaching out and saying, okay, I lost it and now I can get it. So I totally see how it fits the you know, general ethos of Ethereum ecosystem and cypherpunk sort of philosophy. Monica, do you have thoughts about cypherpunk and Ethereum as a network and how this fits into Curse?
I think John put it very well, but one thing that I would like to add while we still have time, and it was something that you brought up apropos the green hair, I think that Krystall Schott is, you know, poised to become the first face of crypto, the first iconic it girl. And in that sense, we may have also done something we weren't, you know, you can't plan this, you can't fabricate it, it happens. And that is part of the magical operation at work here. And it's happening. The it girl is happening on Ethereum, and Ethereum is the blockchain scene for that. So this is how we become a scene, not just an ecosystem. And I think that's gorgeous.
Working for Chainlink Labs and being very involved in the Chainlink protocol, I'm very interested in network effects. You build the infrastructure for the network. If it's there, if there's a good solid price feed, then projects can build and they can use that price feed to create whatever it is. If they want to create DeFi, if they want to create a new it girl in culture, and who knows whether or not that's going to manifest, but those networks, you create the rails, you build them out, and then what happens? You guys didn't even know. You weren't even ready. It sounded like for the amount of excitement and enthusiasm that this generated and came up. I just think it's a really exciting time for, and congratulations to you guys for launching this. And John said he's been working, you know, crazy hours to try and bring in new talent to help his team out to scale this idea up as well. We are kind of coming close on time. There are a few user questions, so I do want to get to them. Let me bring Monica back. Krystall, I will take off briefly. Where was this great other question? Oh, I'm going to save this one. So I do see your questions if you have them. There's one that I'm going to save. Were you guys into crypto before this project, or did this kind of come? You needed to think about data ownership and art, or where was this in your journey?
Yeah, I had been involved in the NFT space for about 3 years. I was actually coming from leading product over at Upland, which at the time was the fastest growing game in the entire blockchain space. So I managed the feature strategy for that and kind of the community strategy, live operations as well. That kind of taught me like the base layer of really developing an economy of value understanding within the NFT space that's sustainable. But I worked on several other NFT projects prior to that. And then, you know, I wish I had been an early adopter 9 years ago when I first started paying attention to Bitcoin. But it's one of those things. It's like I was hyped on it, but I didn't pull the trigger enough. I used it, you know, to buy a couple things online, but I wasn't a hodler like I should have been. So, you know, shame on me, and that'll never be the case again. But Yeah, I've been a fanboy of crypto and the values involved for maybe like 9-10 years.
People talk about Bitcoin Pizza Day as a famous day, but the fortunes won and lost on just Bitcoin poker online. People just throwing Bitcoins away. I heard stories. I was not in that early
Everyone's
either.
got them.
Monica, how have you been introduced to this space?
I was introduced to this space by Charlie and John. I sort of started getting intimations a year and 2 months ago. I didn't know what an NFT was, or very, very vaguely. And but I've caught up, and I'm an art historian. I come from a completely different background, and I can see this moment for what it is. This is the avant-garde. This is the first original artistic movement of the 21st century, and it's great to be here. I love it.
I hearing people from different disciplines come into crypto and just sink their teeth in is so we desperately need that. If it's just crypto people who are building crypto stuff, we'll never grow. So welcome to the art historians of the world. Absolutely. Like your perspective on this is incredibly valuable. So I want to thank you for being here and sharing your story that you came a year ago. It's okay to come a year ago. It's okay to come this month. Everybody starts somewhere, and it's a really good time to start in here as well.
It is.
I want to ask you guys about your roadmap, kind of what's coming next. But one of our audience members has a question. It's about what kind of art an artist are you planning on working for? Like, what is coming next on Curse? I know you guys are just like trying to get a handle on making sure the Curse launch and everything goes well. Is this a platform? Is this a movement? How are you thinking about this?
Yeah, so I'd like to comment on the platform, and then maybe Monica can talk about 2 upcoming artist collaborations that we had announced that we're incredibly excited about. And I think they'll really exemplify our path forward. But there's a couple things that are involved in our near-term future, right? So the first thing is that we've committed to building a platform that allows any artist to be able to create a dynamic NFT similar to the Curse, right? So that's kind of one of our fundamentals, is creating new technology in the NFT space in order to enable new forms of storytelling and different narrative possibilities. We'll exemplify it with our own art, our own artistic productions, right? Like, not all of these NFTs are going to be like the Curse, right? The Curse is, Curse NFT is an incredibly unique production with unique collaborators. It's a first in many ways. It's the first, as you know, use the Chainlink Keeper technology. And so it's a very, very unique production, but we'll be making it a lot easier for any artist to set up their own dynamic NFT that responds to different data feeds coming in from Chainlink. So that's going to be the first version of our platform, right? And as we continue to build more of these custom smart contract productions uniquely with these innovative artists, we will continue to create tools then for the art community to then build their own versions of those, right? So expanding what's possible within the canvas of smart contracts for artists. And then Monica, did you want to explain our art collaborations?
Yes, we have already announced 2 coming collaborations. One is with the painter Julian Nguyen, who has just closed a spectacular solo exhibition at Matthew Mark's New York. He's the youngest painter to have exhibited there. He's a wunderkind, and it's amazing to have him on board. He's deeply analog, and he's going to go deeply digital now. So this is going to be very interesting to watch. And then we have the Avalanches, whom we all know and adore. They are, the soundtrack to our lives in so many ways. And we're going to be exploring what can be done with sound in this particular format, and also developing a documentary film with them, which, the entire community will be, producing, called The Recording Angel. So this is going to be taking music to places it hasn't gone before. And the Avalanches, being the masters of sampling, I would be prepared for very interesting things.
You guys are getting my creative juices flowing. Like there's so much creative potential. Like the design space for this it's infinite. It's what you can be as weird as you want in digital space, and combining that with analog space and real world data and people's experiences, and the passion that we see, in the art community and the NFT community as artists are figuring out, like, okay, it's not just a way to make money, but it's a new avenue for expression in a totally new medium. I think you're right. We're on a really just exciting time. in the entire space. Hey, I want to thank you guys for coming on so much. I really appreciate your time. I had a wonderful conversation. I barely stuck to my questions because we just kind of got going and had a nice time. And thank you so much to the community as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on here, Andy. And of course, thank you, Chainlink, for being awesome supporters of our project, our artistic vision, and what we're building moving forward. You all have been really great on a number of different phases of this project, and this is just another one. So this AMA has been a ton of fun. We've been able to express some really fantastic ideas around where art innovation is going in the space, and that's our goal as a company, is to spread this and to get more people activated and understanding what's possible with these new innovations in art technology. And here we are.
I just
we're here to spread a sense of possibility. Yeah.
I appreciate both of your time so much. I come from a liberal arts sort of background, and so to come into technology, there's a lot of technology, but to really dive in and think hard about art and creative space, it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you. Let's stay in touch. I want to follow up, like next project launch, however things go. We'll meet up in person, show me cool art galleries and digital art galleries. I would love to be involved with that, but I very much appreciate your guys' time.
Sounds good, Andy. Yeah, thank you so much. We'll chat more on Discord.
All right, bye. Hey, everybody,
Thank
stick
you,
around
Andy,
for 1 sec. Thank you, Monica.
Bye.
Thank you, John. Stick around for 1 sec, because join the communities. They've got a great Discord community. The links will be down below. Tatiana did put a link in that chat if you want to learn how to do dynamic NFTs. Thank you for getting that, Tatiana. And I will make sure to add that to the description for those of you who are watching after the live event. Like and subscribe. I got to say it. Because we're doing these AMAs with really cool projects all for like ever. I'm doing them like every day except for Friday, I don't think. But I'm doing another one tomorrow. I got like 4 next week. I'm going to be doing them a lot, and they're all amazing, interesting projects. And what I will bring to you is a sense of enthusiasm and curiosity, because I just love to learn. Come with me, learn with me about these amazing, interesting projects. Thank you, Krystall Schott, for showing up in the chat as well. Our celebrity guest as well. And thank you again to John and Monica for joining me. Hey, everybody. Oh, and thanks, Tatiana, for helping me out and being a moderator. I appreciate your time as well. Great questions from the community. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to get my little situation going. Join the Chainlink communities too. If you want to talk to me about who you want to see on AMAs, I'm in the Chainlink Telegram. I'm in the Chainlink Discord. You can ping me there. You can hit me on Twitter. I'm at Andy Boyan. I'm not hard to find. Thanks. It's Chainlink Live. Bye.